the villain who is interfering with rocket launches from Cape Canaveral.
I'm sorry, what was that first part again?
Has led James Bond, Agent 007, to the mysterious island of Crab Key. But Bond is captured and knocked unconscious by a man driving a flame-throwing Land Rover.
He stopped the Land Rover and got out first. He didn't have really long arms like Mr. Fantastic. Look, it was all on side one.
As he comes to, he faces a goldfish. A goldfish the size of a whale.
Holy mackerel.
Not holy goldfish? You're slipping, 007.
What the?
Welcome, Mr. Bond. I trust you have slept soundly.
Yes, thank you. A little more soundly than I would have liked.
I've usually got my end away 3 times by this point in the story.
Doctor. Not Mr. Doctor No.
If he'd gone to a good school, he'd be Dr. No Thank You.
You keep quite a collection of goldfish, Doctor.
No, Mr. Bond. You are in my little aquarium hundreds of feet beneath the sea. A unique feat of engineering, if I may say so. I designed it myself.
They did a whole episode of Grand Designs about it. I have a signed picture of Kevin MacLeod on the mantelpiece.
The glass is convex, 10 inches thick, which accounts for the magnifying effect.
Minnows pretending they're whales. Just like you on this island, Dr. No.
It depends, Mr. Bond, on which side of the glass you are.
If you were on that side of the glass, you'd have drowned by now.
You will forgive me, Mr. Bond, for not shaking your hand. But you see...
COVID has made me overly cautious.
Dr. No raises both hands to where Bond can see them. But they are not hands. From wrist to fingertip, Dr. No is equipped with grotesque steel claws.
My aquarium is run entirely by atomic power.
Wouldn't all the fish die of radiation poisoning?
You see, my work has given me a unique knowledge of radioactivity, but not without cost.
Got the bill stuck to one of my claws as a reminder to pay it by Friday.
As you see.
But tell me, does the toppling of American missiles really compensate for having no hands?
I may be handicapped, Mr. Bond, but I am blessed with one of the greatest brains in the world.
Correction. Criminal brains.
How'd you get it out of Elon's head? Actually, he always wears that hat these days. That probably hides the traces.
The successful criminal brain is always superior. It has to be.
Well, why become a criminal? I'm sure the West would welcome a scientist of your caliber.
The Americans are fools.
Yeah, I saw the election results.
I offered my services. They refused. So did the East. Now, they can both pay for their mistake.
World domination, the same old dream. Our asylums are full of people who think they're Napoleon or God.
Does anybody still think they're Napoleon anymore? I mean, if anything, I'd applaud them for the work they put in researching him. Unless they watched the Ridley Scott film, in which case they were wildly misinformed.
You persist in trying to provoke me, Mr. Bond. Unfortunately, I misjudged you. I thought you less stupid. It turns out you are just a policeman.
So that really is a truncheon in your pocket, and you're not pleased to see me at all.
Whose luck has run out. Dispose of him, Chang.
Dr. No's henchman leads Bond out of the control room and out of Dr. No's sight.
Hang on, is this the same Chang from Moonraker? The one who fell into the piano? Is the kids' stuff record and tape range creating their own continuity, like those comics from Dynamite?
Before Chang can react, Bond smashes his elbow back into Chang's stomach. The fight is on. Meanwhile, in the control room,
Dr. No interrogates his minions over who took his Marks & Spencer's cheese and onion sandwich from the staff fridge.
I can now see the rocket at Cape Canaveral on my closed-circuit screen. Turn up the volume.
And pump up the jam.
This is Mercury Control. The check indicates all systems are at go at this time. The countdown is now 4 minutes, 30 seconds and counting.
Synchronize radio beam for toppling.
Chang may be a master of the martial arts, but not a master of the art of breathing when the wind's knocked out of him.
And he lives to battle Bond again in a later record. See, it's all coming together.
Now to get back to the control room.
Bond breaks through the doors of the control room to find Dr. No in the middle of operations.
Do you mind? I have to remove the funny bone without making the nose buzz.
Fuel elements 21. Bond! No, you fool! Get away from there!
Why, what is it, Dr. No?
It's...
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
It's...
I'll just activate it and find out.
No! It's a nuclear reactor! Press that button and you'll release deadly radiation rays into the chamber! You'll kill all of us!
All right, shut down your toppling device.
Never!
Toppling is all I live for. That and the Strictly Results show on Sunday night.
As the last word leaves his lips, Dr. No leaps on James Bond with outstretched claws. Bond and Dr. No are struggling to get to the controls as the countdown begins.
They'll never solve the anagram this way. Rachel Riley's looking particularly good today.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
Where's he going with this?
5.
Suddenly, Bond tears a section of paneling from the top of the switchboard and slams Dr. No's steel hands down onto exposed wires.
Yes, you can see his skeleton like a character in a Chuck Jones cartoon.
Instantly, the toppling device is short-circuited and Dr. No sinks unconscious to the ground.
You'll never get the upper hand, Dr. No.
Right, first of all, ableist. Secondly, not funny. I thought we left all that behind with Will Smith's Wild Wild West movie.
4, 3,
That was way longer than a second between 5 and 4. What the hell?
2, 1, 0. The engines are burning. You can hear the roar, and the roar still sounds good and true. Very good. Steady climb.
Days later, back in London, a very relaxed-looking Secret Service leader talked on the phone to the Prime Minister.
Just had the full massage of that place off Whitehall, Prime Minister. That's why I'm so relaxed. Ask for Beryl.
Yes. Well, I'm glad you're pleased, sir. It was a nice little job, wasn't it? Well, really rather routine, though, sir. Personally, I never doubted for a moment that we would catch up to Dr. No in time. Yes, well, he is our best man, you know.
Dr. No is your best man?
007. His name is...
Bond. James Bond.
And it's very rude to talk about me over the phone while I'm standing right here waiting for you to sign my expense report. Okay, well that does it for the story of Dr. No and the very first James Bond audio riff. Please like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, and support me on Patreon if you want access to over 100 other riffs, including Star Trek, Doctor Who, Star Wars, Superman, Captain America and Jason of Star Command.